Okay, first things first. If you hear any weird noises going on, like in the background or whatnot, it's because I have my air conditioner on, and, you know, it's blazing hot, and I, you know, feel like if I don't have it on, I might die. And trust and believe me, death by heat stroke is not on the list of ways that I want to die. And yes, I have a list. So, with all of that being said, on to the review. I said that like I have a freaking intro to this channel. Hello everyone, this is Darren at GNB Productions, and today we are going to be looking at SCOOB, the newest entry to the Scooby-Doo franchise, but not only that, it's set to start off a new Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. And if I'm being honest, it's at a really disappointing start. Now, I feel the need to say first and foremost that I am a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Probably like a lot of you, I was introduced to the Scooby-Doo Where Are You TV show at a young age, and, you know, I was a fan of the franchise from there on out. But I am also a fan of other Hanna-Barbera properties. And just the thought of having these other Hanna-Barbera characters from different shows and properties in this one giant universe is really intriguing. But man, did it not start off so good. Hey, the raft. Okay, now, I don't like this movie, but I don't hate it either. It does so much right, but so much wrong at the same time. Like, you have to judge this movie 3 different ways. As a Scooby-Doo fan, as a Hanna-Barbera fan, and as an average moviegoer. Probably a parent that bought the new Scooby-Doo movie so they can shut their kid up for a couple of hours. First, as a Scooby-Doo movie, man is this disappointing. First off, the whole plot with Shaggy and Scooby trying to prove their worth to the Mystery Inc. team and, you know, try to show that, you know, they actually have a place within this dynamic, like, group and whatnot, has been done before and told better in the second live-action Scooby-Doo movie. In that movie, they openly mess up and are publicly shamed for it. And therefore, they go on this, you know, mini-adventure where they try to, you know, prove their worth, solve the mystery on their own, and, you know, actually show that they have a spot on this team. In here, what, some random celebrity says you're trash so you automatically agree with him? Wow, that's a good message to give to the kids. And don't worry, I'll get into this dude in a minute. Like, the fact that it's Simon Cowell, of all people, that sets the chain events of the movie forward just proves to me that this movie was a cash grab. And I don't even like saying that a lot, but that's what this is. And you can really tell by watching this entire movie. Like, the voice cast in this movie is pretty mediocre. Like, we don't have the original VAs that voice these characters for almost, you know, decades. And it's honestly really distracting at first, but I learned to get used to it over time. Like, Zac Efron voices Fred in this movie, and that's pretty redundant when you consider the fact that the same dude who voices Fred, you know, in the previous cartoons, also voices Scooby. And he's in this movie, but for some reason they don't decide to use him. And Will Forte voices Shaggy. Now, honestly, I don't, you know that much of Will Forte's work in, like, different, you know, movies and whatnot. But in this movie, he was okay as Shaggy. Like, I didn't like him or hate him. He was just pretty average. And what's incredibly disappointing about this, quote, Scooby-Doo movie is that it doesn't even have a good focus on mystery. Mystery is at the exact heart of the franchise, and it's completely tossed aside for this run-of-the-mill superhero movie with Scooby-Doo's great destiny from this being a descendant from this historical dog and whatnot. And listen, this franchise has done larger-than-life elements before, case in point the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated series, but the thing that makes that interesting is that over the development of 2 seasons, there was an overarching mystery that was cleverly built up to this larger-than-life stuff. Now, they focus more on the whole cinematic universe thing rather than, you know, making a good Scooby-Doo movie. And this is something that I have to bring back up from my DCEU's Biggest Problem video. Shameful plug, go check it out. I mean, the main reason Marvel is so successful is because they took their time putting out all of these movies with good quality rather than having every second prelude to, like, a big crossover event. Like, the main Scooby-Doo gang aren't even completely together for most of the movie. Fred, Daphne, and Velma are completely sidelined. That, to the point, whenever they show back up, I am shocked because I honestly forgot they were even a part of this movie. Now, as a Scooby-Doo movie, it was a massive disappointment. But as a Hanna-Barbera movie, it's understandably enjoyable. Like, this movie is jam-packed full of references and characters from other Hanna-Barbera properties like Blue Falcon, Dynamite, Dee Dee Sykes, Muttley, and Dick Dastardly, this movie's main villain, who honestly is my favorite character throughout this entire thing. Like, when I saw in the trailers and commercials and whatnot, and I saw that Dick Dastardly was the main villain, one thing that I always questioned was, where's Muttley? And shockingly, Muttley plays an important part in this movie without even being in it a whole lot. Like, I love how Dick Dastardly's motivation is to save his friend from, you know, this other dimensional place, as well as get the treasure. And strangely enough, Blue Falcon actually has an arc too, with this instead being the adult son of the original Blue Falcon, Brian. And his whole thing is, you know, learning to be a hero just like his dad. And Dynamite is really fun too, but that's pretty much where it ends. Like, Dee Dee Sykes really doesn't do that much, and she looks like a friggin' Fortnite skin. Okay, I'm adding this little bit in, like, a little bit after I recorded this, because I completely forgot that Captain Caveman was a part of this movie, and it was like a short and brief cameo, and that basically goes to show how forgettable some of this movie is. Like, Captain Caveman is one of my favorite Hanna-Barbera characters, and I completely forgot that he even showed up in this. So, yeah, his cameo was pretty fun, but, you know, didn't leave that big of an impact. And Dick Dastardly's little robotic minions were clearly just made to sell toys, and I honestly can't get mad at them for that. So as a Hanna-Barbera movie, it's really hard, you know, to hate it this much. But, like, if you're watching it, like, as an average moviegoer, this is incredibly forgettable, and the jokes are pretty hit and miss. Now, some of them I really liked, but they're so overshadowed by so many corny jokes that'll be dated in a year.
Brian, last time you listened to someone on the internet, you thought Tinder was an app that delivers firewood.
Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
IKEA.
The Falcon Fury. Did you say IKEA?
Nope, I said Falcon Fury.
That is not fair for the rest of us who have to pay for Netflix.
You have to pay for Netflix?
These were just painful to listen to. That Netflix one irritated me the most, because that's the one that they put in most of the trailers and commercials, and the more times I heard it, the less funny it got, and the more pissed off I was. And it overshadows some of the genuinely funny lines that I know will go over kids' heads, but, you know, they'll grow up older and, you know, learn to appreciate them more. But this movie, like as an actual movie, not with Scooby-Doo or Hanna-Barbera, doesn't leave that big of an impact. This entire experience was just kind of meh to me. Like, I will honestly be shocked if this gets a sequel, or if this cinematic universe will actually take off. But if you disagree with anything I've said, let me know right down there in the comments below. Also, be sure to like, subscribe. This is Darren at GNB Productions, and take care.